Slice is still my favorite tool in Cricut Design Space. I love this tool. I actually use the Slice tool to make this shirt. I have a full tutorial on how to use Slice. I have a full tutorial on how I made this shirt. I will make sure that both of those are linked below this video. In today's tutorial, we are learning about how to use the contour tool, which is also in Cricut Design Space. Hello everyone and welcome to Cricketing with Delonda. It's me again, Delonda, and thank you so much for joining me today. You heard me right. We are using the contour tool, and at the end of this video, if you find it helpful, please consider liking the video, subscribing to my channel, and turning on the bell for notifications because I do upload new content every single week. So without further ado, let's head on over to Cricut Design Space. I am in Cricut Design Space and I'm connected to my Cricut Maker. The goal of this tutorial is to show you multiple ways to use the contour tool. The first thing I'm going to do is start with a flower, okay? I'm going to go over here to my images option, right? And I'm going to do a search for a flower, okay? And I'm going to choose this flower right here. And let's just say I wanted to make changes to this flower. Let's say, for example, I wanted to change the color of this flower. If I were to keep it as a basic cut with just one layer and I went over here to my operation and I wanted to change the color, and let's say I wanted to change it to this lilac color. If I did that, it would change the whole flower. Well, now, of course, if I wanted to make changes to this flower and I didn't want it to just be one color, I would have to use my contour tool in order to do that. Now, typically you use contour to hide portions of an image, but you can also use the contour tool to add layers and colors to an image that is just a single layer, okay? So I'm going to go back to, I'm going to undo this and I'm going to bring it to its original form, which is just a flower in a basic cut and it's black. I'm going to bring the view down to 75%. And what I'm going to do, you see it down here at the bottom right of my screen, I have the option to contour this. In order to change this flower and add layers to it, let's just say I wanted this flower to have 4 layers, okay? I would have to duplicate this 3 more times, okay? So what I would do is with my flower selected, I will go up here to the right in my layers panel and I will click duplicate 3 times. I'm going to click duplicate, 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 and now I can move these flowers down here to the bottom of my screen and I can start to make changes to this, okay? And the reason why I'm moving it down to the bottom of my screen is because I want to be able to see what is happening to the flower as I work with it, okay? So now I have the first flower selected. I'm going to choose contour, okay? And now you see I'm in the contour tool and I can see the bottom left of my screen. What's going to happen is as I start to play with this flower in my layers panel here, it'll also show me what's happening to the flower. So the first thing I'm going to do is click hide all contours. When you choose to hide all contours, one layer will always still be seen. Okay, so once I start to, like, let's say I choose this first piece of this flower, now I can remove this bottom layer. One layer of your contour will always show when you click the hide all contours option, okay? So let's say I want to just make changes to these first pieces of the flower, okay? Let's say I wanted to make changes to this and only this, right? So now I have all of the pieces selected. I can close this out. Now you see if I wanted to make changes to this, I can change the color of this layer only to green, okay? So now let's say I want to go over to my second flower and I want to make changes to that one. I can choose that contour option again. I'm going to select hide all contours. Remember, one layer will still always be selected. Typically, it's the first layer. Okay, but once I start to choose other options, then I can remove that bottom layer. So let's just say for this one, I want to make changes to these inner pieces, right? So I can select all of the inner pieces, and hopefully you're paying attention to what's going on down here at the bottom of my screen. I want to select all of those pieces. I see a piece that hasn't been selected, and I can go up to the top and remove that bottom layer, and it leaves me with those inner pieces. And I can close this out, and I can see my inner pieces. And let's say I want to change those to yellow. Okay. And I could move these to the top of this, right? And I can see now that I have two layers, okay? And I can select this whole thing right here, and I can align this, and I can center it, okay? So now I already have what? Two layers. I can start to change this third piece, okay? And I'm going to click contour. All right. And now I want to play with a different part of this flower. So I want to choose hide all contours. I want to go down here, and I'm going to start to play with these smaller pieces. And I'm sure they have a proper name. If you can tell me the proper name, I'll call it that. But I don't have a green thumb at all. So I'll just call them pieces at this point. And I will remove this bottom layer, okay? And I can close this out. And let's say I want these pieces to be, I don't know, brown, okay? I can move this over here to this middle layer, okay? And I like that. That's actually beautiful. Okay. And so for this middle piece right here, or this last piece of my flower, this last flower, if I wanted to make changes to this, I can go ahead and contour it again. I can select contour, and I can start to look at, let's just say, the only piece that I have not made changes to is, let's see if I wanted to make a change to this piece in the middle only, right? And then I could hide that, and I can close this out. And let's just say I want to keep this black. I can do that, right? And let me look at my color choices and just make sure I want to keep that black. I might want to change it to, I don't know, a lighter green. I think that's so cute, right? So I could select this whole thing, and I can align it, and I can center it. And if I wanted to cut this out, I could do that as a flower, and it would be in different colors. I have now, instead of one layer of a flower, I actually have 1, 2, 3, 4 layers. Okay. So hopefully that helps you understand contour. Now, let's just say my image wasn't actually an image at all. Let's say I was working with words, right? I can take this whole thing, and I'm just going to group it for now. I'm not going to attach it, because if I was to attach it, all of these would just change to one color, and I don't want to do that. I'm going to put this right here, and I'm just going to leave it here for a second. I'm going to do a search for images, and this time I'm going to do a search for the word fall. Okay. And let's say I was working with words, right? And I wanted to add this to my canvas, right? And I am going to bring my view down again to 75%. And I'm going to keep my image down here at the bottom. Now, if I wanted to make changes to this, and I'm not using an image as I was with this flower, I would still work with it in the exact same way. So depending on how many different colors I wanted to use with this image, I would work with it in the exact same way that I did this flower. Let me show you what I mean by that. Let's say I wanted this to be, let's say 3 different colors, right? And what I would do is I would duplicate this 2 more times so that I would actually have 3 layers. Okay, right now, if I'm looking at it in my layers panel where I'm hovering over here to the right, I can see that there's 1 layer. Well, if I wanted this to be 3 different colors, I would have to duplicate this 2 more times and then change the colors as I want it. So I'm going to click duplicate, right? I'm going to bring these down. Okay. And then I can start to make all the changes that I want. So let's say I'm working with this first layer. I'm going to click contour, and I could, once again, choose to hide all contours, and I can start to work with it the way that I want. Now, the first thing I want to do is, let's say I want to remove everything except the hearts, right? So I'm going to go through and I'm going to just select the hearts. Okay. I'm going to select all of the hearts. I'm going to go through and make sure I have all of the hearts selected. And let's say I want to remove the word fall. Okay, I don't want that word there at all. I just want the hearts. Okay, so that's actually one layer. And let's say I want these hearts to be green. Okay, so the next layer, I'm going to go back and I'm going to click contour again. And this time I only want the word fall. Okay, and I am going to click hide all contours, and I'm going to make sure that I can see what's going on with the word fall. I'm going to make sure I have the inner pieces of that word selected, and I want it just like that. And I want the color of the word fall to be orange. Okay, so now I have that, and I'm going to click contour again. And this time I only want to work with the rest of the words. So I'm going to click contour, and I am going to choose hide all contours, and I'm going to just go through and select the letters. Okay, all I want is the letters left. Okay, and I should have made sure that I can see all the letters, but I'm going to just start to play with this for now, and then I'll make any changes or fix anything that needs to be fixed at the end. Okay, so right now I'm just choosing all the letters, choosing all of the letters, not the hearts. I already have my layers of hearts. Okay, choosing all the letters, all of them. Keep going. I don't want any of those dots at all. Okay, so what I can do here is make sure that I don't have the inner pieces, because I don't actually need any of that. I don't want the word fall. Okay, and I don't want any of these pieces. Like, I don't need that little piece right there. I can see that I'm missing the H. Okay, and let's see. It looks like I have everything. Let me close this out and just double check. I have everything. That's perfect. So now what I can do is take all of these pieces, right? And I can select all three, and I can go to align and center, and they should fit right back together perfectly. And if I wanted to change the color of the words, right, I could change them to, I don't know, I could change them to this brown. And so I have three fall colors that come together nicely. And if I wanted to make this into like a t-shirt, I could do that, right? So that's another way to use the contour tool. Okay, so hopefully that helps. All right, so let me show you another way to use contour. I'm going to group this for now. All right, I'm going to move this over. Let's say you want to use an outlined font. Let's say you were using a font. So I'm going to go to and grab a text box, and I'm going to do a search for a font that is that looks kind of like outlined. Okay, this one is called Alphabet Soup. All right, so let's just say I double clicked in here and I turned on my caps lock and I typed my name, right? So I'm gonna bring this down because it's actually a little bit too big, right? And I'm going to bring my name down to here to the bottom. So I like that. That's really a super cute font, right? And this is one of those Cricut fonts. But let's just say I like it, but I want it filled in. I don't want it to be an outlined font. What I would have to do is weld this font. Okay, so now my name is welded. And let me go back because I want to show you, I want to make sure you understand what's going on here. So right now, this font is not welded, right? It's just grouped. And I know that it's grouped because once I look at it, I have the option up here to ungroup this. And if you look at the bottom of my screen, you see I don't have the option to contour this. However, once I weld this, it's not text anymore. It's considered as an image. Okay. And since it's considered as an image, I can contour it. Okay. So I can click contour and I can start to actually fill in these letters so that it is not an outlined font anymore. So I kind of have to look at it and kind of see how what I'm doing to see what happened to that letter D. I was able to actually fill it in, but it only works when you weld the font, okay? And it only works if you have an outline font that is not already filled in, okay? So let me go and make sure, let me look at the O. Okay, let me see. I want to fill that in. Okay, I'm going to fill in the N. I'm going to fill in the other D, and I'm going to fill in the A. Okay, so you see what I did to my name? So now that font is completely filled in. So that's another way to use the contour tool. Okay, so let me show you one additional way to use the contour tool, and hopefully you're finding this helpful. If you are, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, because my goal is to work with Cricut beginners and show you everything I know. So let me go back to images and let's go to look for, let's just say let's look at this option right here. This one just says made with love. Okay, this is a basic cut. This would not be a time where I would need to use contour because I see that this already has 4 layers. And if I didn't want a part of this, let's just say I didn't want the heart, I could just, turn it off. Okay, so I would not need to use contour in this case. Let me look for another image. Let's look at this image right here where it says world's okayest guitar player, right? So let's just say I wanted to take out world's okayest and I just wanted to have the words guitar player, right? I could click contour, right? And I can just take out world's okayest, right? I can just remove all of that. So I can click it here, or I can click, on the actual, I can take that part out. I want to keep that. Let me make sure I have everything else out. All of these inner pieces, I can remove all of that. Okay, so if I just wanted it just like that, now I have just guitar player with a guitar. Okay, so hopefully this was helpful to you. If you did find it helpful, please consider liking the video, subscribing to my channel, and turning on the bell for notifications, because I do upload new content every single week. Thank you so much for joining me today, and thanks for watching. Bye.